What's good with y'all? Star Seed Banks here. Indigo Banks here, bringing y'all another video. Fuck. Oh, thought it was a hole in my shirt. But today's video will be about self-love. Now, this gonna be like one of the important things that they don't teach you about self-love. From my perspective, at least. Now, when people be talking about self-love on YouTube or Instagram, or even like TikTok and the little reels and all that, you will see, oh, once you get self-love, and they just talk about it like it's all sunshine and rainbows and butterflies and flowers. So I'm just here to let you know, like, self-love is needed, but something that they don't talk about is when you develop a certain amount of self-love for yourself, basically you're gonna go through hardships either way, because when you develop self-love for yourself, you start moving different. So you gotta cut off certain people and you gotta cut off certain habits, and that's gonna have you cut off certain people anyways. So there's gonna be some kind of resistance somewhere, and you're gonna like have a roller coaster of emotions, at least at first. Because let's say you've been friends with people for like years, but they're not good for you, and then you get a certain amount of self-love and you like, damn, this person ain't no good for me, I gotta cut them off. Once you cut that person off, you've grown so familiar with that person and you so used to them, you're not just gonna cut them off and then get over it like, oh, like, I don't know. You're not just gonna be detached ahead of time unless you just already on that level of consciousness to understand that nothing owns nothing. So you're not in possession of nothing and nothing is in possession of you. We just all experiencing one another. But oftentimes people get caught in ego. So when you cutting someone off, you feel bad about it because you've grown familiar with that person. So another part about self-love is that when you get more disciplined and you do things that benefit you in the end, like I said, it might hurt in that moment. Like a lot of people, they self-love only goes so far. You can be dating somebody who they real friendly, fuck around, catch feelings for somebody else, and then you stay dating that person because you're like, oh, I'm just gonna fight to make this person stay, and I'm gonna win over their loyalty or some stupid shit. But it's like, nah, if you really love yourself, you wouldn't be out here making yourself look a little iffy, chasing after somebody who's not even worth chasing. But yeah, like, you're gonna realize your friends, some of them might not really be your friends depending on what keeps y'all connected to each other. Same with your relationships or your relationship itself with like an actual partner. But it's just gonna make you realize a lot of things about yourself. And another thing that they do kind of talk about with self-love is that when you really love yourself, you're not worried about how everybody else perceive you. So just because you a diamond and people can't perceive that, that don't mean that you a rock now, because no one can see you in your totality. We're not worried about how other people view us. So we're not chasing no validation or nothing else that comes from an external source, because when you are in love with yourself, all that happiness and fulfillment comes from within. You already whole and complete and already loved unconditionally within. So you're not chasing none of that shit elsewhere. Meaning, can't nobody do something to manipulate you into being around them and, you know, lowering your self-respect or lowering your self-love, because you know how much you're worth. And also when you love yourself, you know you can't put a monetary value on you. You are one of one, bro. So we not worried about that. But yeah, with self-love, I feel like I'm gonna say some steps to get self-love, and then I'm gonna kind of go back over, you know, the part about cutting people and things off. Number one, the first thing to do with getting self-love in a way is taking accountability for shit that you've done. Because if you don't love yourself, you're not gonna hold yourself accountable for quote unquote mistakes that you made. So you're never gonna grow. So you gotta hold yourself accountable for anything that you did in your life, no matter what it was. And then once you do that, you can write it down, journal it, or you can just mentally go over it with yourself. And once you hold yourself accountable, also, you got to learn how to forgive yourself. Like, learn how to forgive yourself. It is okay. We all make mistakes. Once you become a human, you're no longer perfect. We all fuck up. It's okay. So you got to really sit down with yourself and accept yourself in your totality for all the flaws and imperfections that make you you. Because you wouldn't be you without those fuck ups. So it's fine. So, you know, that would be my first thing, would be like taking accountability. And then you could say the second one would be self-acceptance and forgiveness. Because if you don't forgive yourself, you're not really gonna learn how to forgive other people. So if somebody do you wrong, quote unquote, but you don't really have enough self-love, you're not gonna really know how to navigate through that, or you're gonna hold a grudge against them. But it's like, nah, let that shit go. It's too much love inside of you and around you for you to be holding on to resentment towards anybody else. That shit's dead. So another thing to do to kind of get more in tune with self-love is to do habits that are aligned with shit that brings you joy in a way. Like, do your passion. So if you got a passion for painting or making music or whatever, do things that get you back in your element, like in tune with your higher self. Do things like that. And, you know, just be in your flow state, be vibing. Because a lot of people, they'll be drinking or smoking or doing shit to fit in with their friends, and that's not really them. So that's not self-love. Like, oh, I don't drink, and I've never been a drinker, but I'm friends with these people, and they want to go out this weekend, so I'm finna go get drunk, even though I don't drink, but I just want to fit in. That's not self-love. Instead of going out, trying to fit in, getting that external validation, which is also not self-love, if you feel like you need to be validated externally, you don't love yourself enough. So what you need to do, instead of going out with them friends, you need to sit at home and get back in tune with yourself. So, like for me, since I don't really be posting as much as I used to, I started working out. So like, that could be one of my things now. Like, I like to work out, obviously meditate, go for a walk in nature, shit like that. Obviously. Read books too. Books are cool. What else? I like learning new shit. But just do things to get you in tune with who you really are. And just get to know yourself too. If you want to develop self-love, go on that discovery of knowing thyself. Like, really go within. Isolate yourself to learn about yourself. Because you can't perceive other people if you can't perceive yourself. So if you don't know enough about you, your relationships with other people are only going to be surface level, because you can't get to know them if you don't know your damn self. So another way to develop self-love is really just knowing who you are. Get a sense of knowing who you are deep down at your core. So what all did I say? I said accountability, and then you got to forgive yourself and, you know, have that self-acceptance. Yeah. I also said do things to get you back to who you are. Like, do things that you really enjoy doing. And just when you do those things, like I said, what they don't talk about is a part of self-love where you're going to lose people. They do kind of cover it, but they're not going to say, like, even through you feeling bad that you got to cut these certain people off, that's a people-pleasing aspect where you're like, oh, if I tell this person no, they're not going to fuck with me. We don't care what that motherfucker think, because we in love with us. I love me. And if somebody else can understand that I'm not going somewhere or doing something because I love me, then they don't fucking love me either, and that's okay. That's cool. I'll replace them. And I'm not even saying like people are replaceable, because everybody is uniquely who they are. But I wouldn't want to replace somebody who don't give a fuck about me with another person who don't give a fuck about me, so they can just leave my life. Who cares? But yeah, like, when you really start to get a good amount of self-love, you're going to remove people, because you're going to realize that they've been here for an unhealed part of yourself, or they just been here connecting with you, quote unquote, because you didn't heal, or because you didn't have enough self-love in those moments. So that's why they've been around the whole time. So as your self-love grows, your circle will change, is all I'm trying to say. But it's worth it though. Like, going through those difficult times of replacing who you around and shit like that, it's worth it. In the end, it's perfectly fine. It's normal, because you, quote unquote, lose people and shit like that regardless, whether you love yourself or not. So why not love yourself, so that when you go through any hardships in life, you able to pick yourself back up, and you able to be there for yourself. If you feel like you don't got nobody else, as long as you got you, that's enough. And then you'll get put with the people around you externally that you deserve. Because if you're moving from an unhealed state, or from a traumatic state, you're going to trauma bond with people, and you're going to attract people who also didn't fucking heal. So if something go down, or if shit hit the fan, you're going to be surrounded by a bunch of people who do the same shit. Oh, life been beating up on me lately, so I'm finna go drink. I'm finna go smoke. I'm finna go vape. I'm finna go just start fucking on all these random people because I'm just building lust connections. They don't love themselves. And that's what I'm saying. You got to love yourself to be surrounded by people who love themselves as well. Because if you surrounded by people who also don't love themselves, they're just going to keep bringing you down with their habits and shit that they do. And even if it's not their habits, it's the way that they speak. If they don't love themselves, they're not speaking life into you. They're going to be saying nothing but bad fucking vibes, negative energy. Oh, I wouldn't do that if I was you, because you're really not going to get nothing out of doing that. Like, why the fuck are you telling me what I should and shouldn't be doing? If you love somebody, you're going to support them no matter what the fuck they want to do. As long as it ain't hurting nobody, and as long as it's not nothing crazy in a bad way, like, they can rock out, bro. So, yeah. I just feel like self-love is a big step along everybody's journey, whether you're spiritual, religious, whatever you want to call yourself. Get a good amount of self-love. I'm just gonna title this video "Self-Love." It was gonna be what they don't tell you about self-love, but I started talking about like 3 or 4 things to do to get self-love, and then the part of self-love that they don't talk about, which is the pain that comes from it. But love itself is not painful. Let's not get pain and love mixed up. Love is never painful. It's just sometimes the decisions that you make because you love yourself, those will be painful. Removing yourself from certain situations with people that you've known for so long, that might be painful. But the love itself is never painful. It's not. So if you feel like you love somebody and it hurt, that's not real. It's not painful. That might be a lust connection, or it's something deeper than that. It's not love, though. Love does not hurt. So, yeah. When you move from love, your life will start to change, but you just gotta thug that shit out, because in the end, all you have is love and you'll be fine. Now, if y'all got any other video ideas and stuff like that, let me know. If I didn't elaborate deep enough, then I will make a self-love part 2 video. I'm just wrapping this video up now because it's 12 minutes and I don't want to be making 20-minute videos no more. At least not for now. But yeah, if y'all got any questions or any video ideas or shit like that, let me know. But I'm out though.